What up, y'all? This is One Sir Grove, a.k.a. Big Grove Dog. This is the 149th episode of C4CW, casting 495 celebrities worldwide. I was just reading about Whitaker, testimony, hearing, Democrats, response, Republicans, stance, Donald Trump, relation to Whitaker, discussing Cohen, etc., alleged allegations, blah, blah, blah. And what came to mind in terms of the border wall discussion is that if Democrats, liberals, socialists, Marxists are so against having a southern border wall because they believe that it will not prevent drugs from coming into the United States, then what the fuck do they want to spend money on? What do they want to spend money on instead of the border wall? They don't really seem to care what money gets fucking spent on at other times so much. They don't really seem to know where their money goes most of the time anyway, because a lot of it goes to black budgets, military, defense, intelligence community projects that are unacknowledged, deep black projects. And they don't seem to know that. The folks who aren't in the classified community, they're not in the U.S. intelligence community, they're not in the defense, scientific research, analysis, and intelligence community. They don't seem to fucking understand that their money goes to black budget projects anyway. They don't really fucking seem to know shit, really, in terms of where their tax dollars go. They don't really seem to understand how the U.S. government works despite all the shit that they claim that they know and whatever it is that they blab about to the contrary. They seem quite clueless, actually. So since they don't really fucking understand that their money goes to black budgets and goes to deep black ops, and then a lot of it goes to slush funds and different black ops accounts, why the fuck would they care if a wall got put up? Why? What's the big deal? What does it signify in their minds? Oh, it's not really about border protection. It's not about border security. It's not about protecting the lives of Americans. It's all about defying Donald Trump and going against whatever it is that Donald Trump wants to do. If Donald Trump didn't want to build a border wall, they would probably be crying about how they needed to have a border wall. There's another border wall somewhere that protects people like Nancy Pelosi, and that seems to be okay. But in terms of what Donald Trump wants to do regarding a border wall in the southern border barrier, they don't want that. They're against it. And their story is that by erecting a border wall barrier along the southern border, that it won't stop drugs from coming into the United States. It will stop drugs from coming into the United States in that part of the country. That's what they don't talk about. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about how it will actually work and it will actually be effective, and how some drugs will stop, in fact, coming into the country. And they don't talk about that particular volume of drugs. They don't talk about those contraband items. They don't talk about what those materials are that will stop coming in when a border wall is erected, when a border barrier is built and erected. They don't talk about that because they're lying to you. They want for you to believe that a southern border barrier, will do absolutely nothing to curb the tide. Nothing at all in the world to stop the flow of narcotics, fentanyl, methamphetamine, fucking ecstasy pills, whatever kind of drugs you can think of, man, that come across that border. Guns, drugs, guns. Human beings who are illegal immigrants who should not be in the United States, who pose a danger and a threat to the United States because they're not legal asylum seekers. They're not legal immigrants. They just want to come into the United States and do a bunch of fucking crime, terrorism, domestic terrorism. They don't talk about that. These liberal Democrats, these socialist Marxists, these socialists, they don't talk about the exact number, the metrics, the exact order of the number system in terms of how those drugs and those contraband items, those black market items, will slow down, will stop, will subside, and will dissipate, and will be no more. No, they don't fucking talk about that because they want you to think that it'll have zero effect, that it'll have absolutely no effect whatsoever, because it's something that Donald Trump wants to do. So these motherfucking pieces of shits are lying to Americans as a whole. They're lying to the public. They're lying to the international audience. And they're saying that to put up a barrier, wall, or any kind of construct along the southern border to thwart, to deter, to prevent the flow of narcotics, contraband, drugs, weapons, illegal immigrants. It has no effect. Zero effect is their story. When the reality is the opposite. It does have an effect. It does have a net result. A net result and a net effect. It absolutely does. And it's helpful, and it's needed, and it's imperative. So anyone in that circle, in that data set of those who claim, who proclaim, who assert, who contend that the southern border wall proposal is completely absurd, it doesn't need to be a border, a wall, barrier along the southern border. Anyone who says that, anyone who wants for me to subscribe to that notion, fuck you, man. Fuck you, dude. Straight up. Because you're a liar. And you and I both know damn well that by putting a barrier in place there, it will quell the flow of illicit contraband, goods, black market, materials, items, whatever the fuck's been coming over the border illegally, it will reduce and minimize that number. Now, your story is that, well, legal ports of entry, drugs, contraband can still get through. Yeah, it can for the time being. Nonetheless, a southern border wall barrier structure will reduce the overall volume. And you fucking know that. And for you to not want that shows how fucking contemptible you are, because if you don't want to reduce the volume of contraband and illicit narcotics, drugs, weapons, illegal immigrants coming across the southern fucking border, then you're part of the fucking problem. You're part of the fucking problem. Then you're part of it. Obviously, there's no way around it. If you do not want a southern border barrier construct, knowing at the same time that such a barrier construct would and will significantly reduce the volume of contraband and illicit narcotics, drugs, guns, illegal immigrants coming into the United States, you're fucking part of it. You're part of the fucking problem. And you know that. And that's a reality. So, your fucking narrative, you liberal democratic socialists, your narrative that a southern border barrier construct wall is not needed is nullified. It's no more. You don't make any fucking sense. Your story is illogical mathematically. You're an absolute fucking liar. Group of liars. Bunch of fucking liars. And it doesn't hold up. It doesn't hold up to the fucking test of science and mathematics. It fails. You fail the fucking test. You fail. And you're fucking liars. And you're absolutely fucking detestable liars, because you know that southern barrier should have been up a long time ago to prevent the influx, the flow of drugs, contraband, illicit narcotics, weapons. Yes, I'm being redundant for emphasis. The fact is, it's a huge volume of shit coming into the United States. And that border should not have been as porous as it has been for as long as it has been. And the fact that it has been, and the fact that you don't want to fucking fix the problem when there's a solution right in front of your fucking stupid faces, which is to put up a border, barrier, construct, wall, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. The fact that you don't want to do that just shows how treasonous and how traitorous and how seditious you are as you continue to seek to undermine the United States, America that is, with your 45 stated goals of communism. I know who the fuck you are. You're motherfucking not even really honestly socialist. You're extreme socialist, i.e. communist, and you're trying to fuck up America. You are. Not Donald Trump. You are.